Of course we are. We shouldn't be now. 1 second. Can you guys talk for a moment? Oh, that's not picking up audio. 1 second. Huh. Yeah. He's right. It is not pulling audio from Discord. Why would that be? Always something. Um, yep. That's weird. There's a setting for it, but it's just, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. Um, okay. Well, shoot. If I end this though, oh, I know what I'll do. Everyone, please bear with me for a few moments. We will be right back.
He was just bringing that and that. But the second season, we really want to watch because Gino Mellis is Gerhardt, and in the second season, the crime family that they're focusing on is the Gerhardt crime family of South Dakota, outside of Vermillion, South Dakota.
So your cameo came in when?
Yeah, right. I was the third guy to get shot in the face.
Damn Gerhardt, bam! Oh, Steve, no!
No, not your face. But what was funny is that part of it took place in Vermillion, which is USD, and that's where Anna went. And in the final episode, they showed the hotel that used to be apartments that she stayed in when she was born in USD.
Oh, cool.
So it's like, and I recognized the motel because a couple of years after we graduated from college, she went back out to visit friends and I drove her out there and called the longest beer trip ever, because I literally loaded up the trunk of the car with beer. So it was like $5.99 for like a case. Like, so I'm just like from the grocery store, just.
It's like folks going to Canada and trying to get a pack of fucking Canadian beer if they possibly can.
Right. Good stuff.
And was there a Molson Black Label?
Yes, it was.
Okay, because I was talking to a friend of mine last night, talking about Moosehead, Molson Ice, and I was like, oh, there was also a Molson Black Label back eons ago. That was like that was difficult to get in the U.S. All I could find online was Carling Black Label, like not the same thing.
Right? No, not that awful stuff. No, it was promotional, and it came out. It comes out actually every few years. They bring it and trot it back out. It's one of those things that it's actually not good, but because it's Molson and because people are suckers, they're like, oh, I gotta have this. So you can tell we're getting a beer one store.
I got rolling dice on you. Is that?
Yeah, I got rolling dice on you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Got me? Anything?
I see you. Yep, I got us all.
Hello, everyone. I believe we're back. Apologies for technical difficulties. I had some issues with the other computer and had to switch over real quick, but we're going to get into this here in just a moment because it's Saturday night. It's anime time. We're talking about the holiday week. It's been a nice, relaxing week for me as well. Glad to hear you guys were able to have a not crazy holiday week, at least, with everything else going on. So we are here to talk about this little movie called Project Echo, which is a 1988, 86, I believe, absolute insane film. Just completely nuts. What are your guys' impressions of Project Echo?
I was trying to count the many different tropes, characters, the whole 9 yards into it. I had seen I'd seen like clips of it before, so I was kind of familiar with it. And I think I may have actually seen it back in the day, back in the late 90s, perhaps. Not sure, a little bit of drinking going on at that time. But it was it was great. It has such energy to it, and again, it's just funny just to watch things and just go, "Oh, that's Creamy Mommy. Oh, that's a version of Rama. That's this, that's that, and the other thing," and just laughing through the whole thing. And just, I love parodies, and this was just just a wonderful little parody.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for me, it was another one of those kind of rando, like dealer room VHS cassettes. Where it's just, it's one of those things where it's like, you gotta see this. Be like, okay, I will. And then picked it up, and it's like, again, no sub, no dub.
Oh boy!
Oh,
wow!
So, sat and watched it with friends, and we were like, okay. So I watched it enough times to understand, just the general gist of what was going on. And it's another one of those where you don't really, it's, all the punches are telegraphed, pretty much. So you can figure out little bits and pieces of who everybody is, and it just plays along by itself. It's great to watch the frenetic activity, all the great mecha designs of stuff. Just.
Oh yeah, the mecha
good fun.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, I was not kind of expecting that, and that was what sold me when I bought the cassette. Was that it's funny, but you're gonna love the mecha designs on like space battle kind of stuff. And it's like, okay,
yeah. This is one of the movies that made me an anime fan.
I can see why, actually.
Yeah, this is one of the ones that played in rotation on the Sci-Fi Channel's festivals of anime.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
And it was. I grew up loving science fiction, and seeing a movie that just clearly loved science fiction as much as I did, but was also just making so much fun of it at the same time, just really connected to me very, very, very closely. Because it's, and I had actually forgotten this when I went to watch it, the fact that it opens with, it's like 7 minutes of space stuff. Of sci-fi elements, just kind of going on, doing his thing.
Which is for me, I was just like, oh wow, okay, maybe they were wrong about how they described it. This is going to be really cool.
Exactly, it's kind of surprising because it's like, okay, this is going to be no, it's not really a parody. Doesn't seem to be, because it starts off with this space shuttle getting exploded.
Yes, there's something to the northwest. I can't quite see it. It seems to be approaching quickly.
That was cute.
I just love this lack of coordinates. It's coming from the northwest. For me, if you say that to me, I would have been like.
Also, what's northwest in space?
Exactly.
Whatever.
Upright.
360.
Yeah. But yeah, it was fun. That whole, it's coming pretty fast. Boom. Which again gives you kind of the overall tone of what you're gonna get, because then we get all the death and destruction, and then we get schoolgirls waking up and going to school.
Yeah. And that's the whole point of this.
And that is
moment where you're like, huh.
Okay.
Did this suddenly take a left turn for a reason? Or
Oh, yes.
Let's ride this, see where it goes.
I can just only imagine having no sub, no dub, and just watching this, and just my reaction would be just like going, space battle. Okay, cool. What? Hey,
we were like totally stoked for it. We were just like, oh, this is awesome. This is so cool. And then it stops. I'm like, huh.
And then you have 5 minutes of a blonde girl scream.
Well, and you get girls waking up for school, and then Eiko proceeds to run up the side of the mountain, like a character from Ranma. Yeah, exactly. And you're like, okay, this is again not the movie I thought I was signing up for.
Yeah.
I
like the fact that all happens in like absolutely no setup.
Right. No. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like, hey, we're late for school. It's like, why does Seiko?
Is this
why
normal?
Is Seiko doing this?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, doesn't anybody else kind of noticing she's running at like several hundred miles an hour? That's unusual.
And she's just running through people's homes and causing chaos and mayhem, and just like faint calls over her shoulder, sorry, as leaving destruction behind her.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, man.
It's pretty nuts. And then and we chug along, and of course now my video freezes. But yeah, it's a weird movie because you have that, and then you get I'm forgetting her name. Is it Mommy?
Mommy,
the teacher.
No. Not that. The Fist of the North Star girl.
Oh yes, Mari.
Okay. There we go.
Mari.
Yes.
Which totally threw me off when I was like, there's North Star. All right, okay, wait, what? Wait, what's going on here? Why is he in a scroll colored uniform? And then you see the braided pigtail coming out of the back, and then Fist of the North Star opens his mouth, and it's not a he, and it's a little voice.
I'm gonna beat you up. Wait, what? Hold on. What did he say?
Well, and even better, he talks in that, and then he growls.
I love that the pigtails are basically just mystical floating dongs.
Yeah.
They're not actually like connected to anything. You can see gaps between them. They just hover like the back of Mari's head.
Yes. Because again, that's just kind of that's the joke, is that this is not and I think that was really your first indication in the movie that there we go.
This is unusual.
This is unusual. And more importantly, that this is a movie that is not taking itself seriously in any way, shape, or form. Where you have space stuff, and you're like, okay, it's there's a comedic aspect, and then you have girl running up, and then suddenly you have Fist of the North Star parody. And like when I was watching it, of course, I'd never seen Fist of the North Star, but I was like, this is a joke. I can tell this is a joke. Like you are telegraphing this successfully. And then you get, of course, the first big fight scene with Eiko. And again, I think this is interesting how they kind of telegraph this, that all the scenes of Eiko running to get to rescue Seiko are incredibly gorgeously animated.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just like drawing on ones. It's crazy.
The thing for parodies is that parodies are usually something where you're just like doing something that's going to be funny, and you don't really need to pay attention to the animation or that kind of thing, as long as you get the funniness across, the comedy across. And the thing about Project Eiko is that you are looking at beautiful animation, whatever it is that you're looking at, whether it's the space stuff, the mega I don't know if you guys noticed in the credits, but the mecha had their own designers and character designers.
Oh, yeah.
And things like that. And, so this was lovingly crafted. And it was just amazing. I was like, oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, Project Echo was one of those projects that just attracted all sorts of leading lights in animation at the time, where they were like, hey,
Wow.
come work on this, and, we'll all have fun together drawing this ridiculous stuff. Because the great thing about Project Echo is there's enough space, kind of, if you want to do mecha stuff, if you want to do superhero girl stuff, magical girl stuff, kind of.
Yeah.
There's just all sorts of things you can animate there, and apparently folks that took them on that, because
when
crazy.
Eiko's running down the hallway to get to Seiko to stop the fight.
Yep.
I love the jumping out the window where she turns and pivots, and the fluidity of her crouching to then jump out the window. It's like, wow, you guys really visualized how you were doing this, and then just nailed that down to get that spring motion. That's like, wow, jeez, good job.
And it's one of the interesting things. Like, this movie is so cartoony in a lot of ways. Seiko, obviously, Biko's obsession with Seiko, which we'll get to, and just the action and so forth. But the fact that they ground the action in such thought towards momentum and gravity and all that stuff just really sells it. You're absolutely right. And I think it's one of the reasons why people saw this movie, and it feels so special, because there is all that attention to detail to it. And then we get the scene I'm going to have to skip past real quick, of Biko thinking to herself about Seiko and how much that Seiko has to be hers. So we got to talk about the backstory of Project Echo for a second. The team that worked on Project Echo, before making Project Echo, made a segment of a series of OVAs for adults, shall we say. Yeah. And this was going to be another in that segment. And the segment that they'd done was this kind of goofy sci-fi thing with, girls falling into each other and then, doing the kinds of things that happen in adult OVAs. And stuff, exactly. And when they conceived Project Echo, and I don't know all the backstory, but it evolved into an all ages kind of a thing. And this scene is one of the sequences that they left in, basically, which is going to be about how much Biko really wants Seiko. And in
all fairness, having watched more of it, it's highly suggestive.
Yes.
Absolutely. But completely, non-graphic.
True.
So that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like if you can get what's being inferred by what's going on there, you can add more, certainly, than to what is actually shown.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
It was kind of interesting. But yeah, totally. And I'm scrolling back to see some of the chat. Wesley's saying that the Echo series was the studio trolling the community because some of the nonsense going on was so ridiculous, which is definitely true. And we definitely want to talk about the soundtrack in a little bit.
It's no Megazone 2-3 soundtrack.
True.
But,
absolutely.
Pretty good.
And I just love the way this movie is paced. Because after this, we have them going out in the town and having them chat while the screens behind them are talking about the lost ship.
Yeah, the ship.
All that kind of stuff.
The deep space probe that's gone somewhere.
Yep. Just sort of layering that in where you know what's going on, but you see that they don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
It's just lovingly done.
And boy, do they not know what's going on.
No!
Yeah.
No, they do not care. And then Eiko, rescues Seiko. Various folks are in the crowd. And then we get to meet Captain Captain Napolitana.
Yeah.
Who?
What Harlock would look like as a woman.
Yes. Well, we'll get to that too.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. And
Spoiler
Napolitano.
alert.
And in case folks are curious, he looks kind of like Napolitano, but he's kind of posed like Char Aznable as well. Like his ship is very sort of Xeon, because that is Char Aznable's voice actor in the original Japanese. So they were kind of playing on that a little bit as well. Yes, apparently.
Well, also, hey, can the ship be any more Battleship Yamato?
Yeah, exactly. A little bit.
Yeah, slightly. Which we, of course, know the Battleship Yamato and Captain Harlow. They're all sort of in there. So
yeah, exactly.
It's a thing.
And so again, we're getting this idea that they're just sort of layering parody on top of parody on top of parody. Yeah. And then we get the final reveal about Biko's past and the fact that she was an annoying little kid. And the first of the great face-offs between Eiko and Biko. It should also be pointed out, by the way, so Ko is a Japanese sort of ending word for girl. So, a girl's often named Akiko or whatever. So you often see Ko at the end of girls' names. So in a script for a movie, if you have just like a random girl, she will be Eiko, Biko, Siko. Right? It's like Soldier A, Soldier B. So the joke of this is that this is just random girl A, random girl B, random girl C, except they happen to be like the most powerful girls in the universe.
Yeah.
And so Biko reveals the mecha that she built overnight.
Yeah. Yes. Fit of madness. I love how like every time she's making something, she goes a little.
Yeah.
Like crazy, a little twitchy.
Loony.
Yep. And then it completely fails. And so she goes back to, and there's that looniness. And she has to go back to the drawing board and figure out how she's going to kill Eiko this time.
There's no story in like, why aren't you just trying to like focus on Siko and be like lure her away with candy or friendship or something? Instead, you're like, I have to build like a murder machine to kill girl. Like, that's a bit of a jump.
And that's what I love isn't that the plot of every shonen anime ever? Right, like we can't actually go and get the evil sword of forever. No, we have to like meet each other on the street and fight for 20 episodes.
Yeah.
I mean, she went from the typical, like Biko went from the typical. Oh, I'm going to set up a scenario where I look like the heroine, and I'm going to get Siko, and she'll be mine by using Tran, Fist of the North Star over here, and And I'm gonna, and then she jumps from that to, but the murder machine. And it's just like, it's just like there was no middle ground. We went from innocent kind of rom-com story to, hey, we're gonna kill somebody here, and
what happened?
Because I really because I really want the little blonde girl who does this all the time.
So
oh my god! Somebody in the chat said that was grating, and I will admit that for the first 5 minutes of just like that in the classroom, and I'm just well, I was drinking during this movie probably was because it was a coping mechanism with that.
And that's one of the things I had the exact same reaction the first time I watched it, and then when I came back I realized, oh no, that's the joke.
It's a joke, right?
Why would anyone like Siko? Like she is the most annoying character in anime history. But for some reason,
for some reason, everybody loves her.
Yes.
And the fact that she sleeps with her eyes open.
Yeah.
That was a little creepy.
Yeah.
That scene.
She's special in many, many ways.
I also love the fact that again they're having fun with things that this mecha is defeated because it's just terribly designed. That like she can't reach the one activation lever.
Yeah, and what's up with the deer striker on one part? There's like a lantern behind her. And never. This would be one of those. What was the pop videos where they would go? It was like on VH1 or something.
Oh, it was
pop-up
videos,
and show you a music video, and then it would tell you information about bits and pieces of the music video. It's like, this is in the background because of such and such. You need a pop-up video with that to be like, okay, what's the deer striker? What's the joke with the deer striker? And what's the joke with the lantern?
And I suspect just the joke is that she threw all this together in 12 hours. And so everything's kludged together, and it's just every possible nutty thing, cuckoo clock, right? Just
don't touch that. It controls the environmental control.
Yeah, exactly right, yeah. Whereupon Eiko trips it.
Just kick the leg out. On with your day. Wow.
Whereupon Biko completely loses it. Because Eiko finally makes it to school on time.
Yeah.
Isn't that wonderful?
Angry. She's just like, honestly, I kind of commiserated with that a little bit because, I was kind of notorious for being late and back in school. And so I can understand, like, being the happy, like that one day where you're just like, I made it on time. Give me credit for this. And
it all came together for once.
Yeah. And Eiko's just like, see, I get
That's it. And again, the fact that, what defeats this thing, her rage at being late for school the final time. And, oh my gosh, how many months did the animator work on this sequence? Eiko flipping over these things and throwing them against each other and all that. It just goes on.
But it's beautiful.
It's fantastic.
It's just, and literally, the robots are hardly doing anything. But just the kinetic motion of Eiko just moving is beautiful to watch.
Oh, yeah. It's just gorgeous. And again, I think it's important. One of the things that the movie is helping us do is this is payoff, right? We have all this scene of buildup of frustration on both parts, and these mecha, what's going to happen? And again, I think what was smart is that in the earlier segment, the joke is we have all of these powers, and she trips it and falls over. This time, no. She's going to fight and annihilate these things.
Yeah.
And it would not be the last time she does that. Also, I should point out, if you didn't know this already, I happen to be not showing any of the shots with panty flashes, which surprises me. Because practically every action shot in this, she flashes her panties. Which, again, is kind of the joke. And then, the moment when Biko reveals that she's not done yet. And she shows us her battle outfit, which again I can't get a good shout out.
Is the slap in the face to every time you have an anime where some female shows up and she has a breastplate that's literally just a breastplate. It's like, okay, wear an armor. Wow, you look like a paladin wearing a bikini.
Yeah,
you are a paladin
wearing a bikini.
Like, what? You get sliced across the middle, and then there's Biko, where you're like, oh no, I get the joke. I see it.
This was an early dub, and it has its ups and downs. But hands down, I think my favorite moment in the dub is when she reveals this, and Eiko reels back and goes, "You're cold in that?"
Nice.
Like, this is what they do. And then, they face off. And I'm trying to remember. So yes, we have that. And then again, this is the movie. They face off, and we cut back to the sci-fi action.
Yep.
And this is where the movie kind of goes in, and this is where you really see the Yamato. And this is where I honestly felt a little emotional. Because, you have this showdown between the space station and the evil spaceship, and those people die.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and they're not just sort of random people out there in space. Like, you get to know them a little bit, you get to see them a little bit, and they just get annihilated because of this sort of misunderstanding.
And they're not. There's no setup at all of these are the evil military people.
Mm-hmm.
They are the ones that are doing things up there, and this is this is kind of it's terrible, but it's kind of justice because they're bad.
Yeah,
Like,
nope.
no, they're literally just people working on a orbital platform.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well,
You know,
there's-
like
Mhm.
it's like the whole scene of where they're like, yeah, it's incoming in 30 seconds. Like, you know, our death is imminent in 30 seconds, and everyone's just like, you know, really calm about it. Send out the fighters, whatever. And, you know, the big battle happens, and then, you know, and then it's just like, you know, across where the crew of the British crew is like all women, right?
Right.
And you're like, well, and so here's where the parody comes in. So that they're all women. You're just like, oh, it's like Macross. So they're all women. So, you know, they're not gonna die.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
which that scene that you got up, Brent, is just beautiful. It's some beautiful stuff right there. Like, wow.
Yeah. Well, and this whole sequence, and as you said, it is just Macross, just straight up.
Yeah.
You know, the way the missiles fly, the designs of the ships are very Kawamori-esque.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, and again, I think even deeper, that is kind of the joke is that you know, Macross, we heroically managed to fight off the Zentradi for 50 episodes. No, you would have just gotten annihilated in episode 1.
Yeah.
Like that's what should have happened, right? You know.
Well, and that's actually. And did you guys catch how at the Constellation, the deep probe ship got destroyed, and you know, Captain Harlock saying they're on the bridge and they're like, and the crew is saying to him on the evil spaceship, going, "I think we just hit something.
Did we hit something?
Yeah.
I'm not sure something. Yeah, I think we hit something." They're like, "Did we? I don't know. Okay, whatever. We're just gonna keep on going. What that was, speed bump. You know, it's probably some man ship with 5,000 people. You know,
Right.
Who cares?
Yeah. Well, and you know, fully undercut by the fact that he fires, and what is the thing is, we don't have time to negotiate like civilized people. Blow them away.
Barbarians.
All right, you're taking
Loves
this
to save
seriously.
the princess. Now,
Yeah, and that's the interesting thing too. Is like the stated goal is to save the princess.
Mm-hmm.
It's not to destroy Earth.
No,
it's not to kill
no.
everybody on the planet. And it's just again, like we were talking in Megazone 2-3. This is a moment where somebody makes a subspace telephone call and says, "Hi, we don't want to shoot at you. Don't shoot at us. Somebody we think landed on your planet. Can you help us?" All we want to do is take them home. That's it. No conflict, no nothing. And it's here we have a war. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm like,
this is all we want. Look.
Which
She's annoying. She cries a lot. She just She can't cook. She can't cook. She's poisoning people.
Yeah.
You just give her back to us. We'll take her off your hands.
There we
It'll
go.
be
more
okay.
trouble for you than you need. So give her home.
And
Let us
which
help
again
me help you.
is the
exactly.
joke,
Help me
right?
help you.
Which should happen in every anime series, but does it? No. Of course, we have to have a giant fight.
But did you guys get confused with who the princess was?
Oh yes,
My first
yes.
thought was that it
Of course
was
it's
supposed
Eiko.
to be Eiko.
Yeah.
Right.
And then it's Seiko, and I'm like, well,
Oh, I'm sure that was deliberate. Is that
yeah, oh yeah,
you know,
oh yeah.
big space princess. Well, Eiko has the powers. She's unusual.
Yeah, right, yeah.
But no. They
No.
want the whiny girl.
That's her
and-
special power.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Well, literally. And then we cut back from that to, I'm gonna say it, one of the greatest duel sequences in anime.
It's pretty damn cool.
Of Eiko and Biko fighting in the hallways of their school, just completely trashing their high school. And I'm sure there were at least a few high schoolers watching this going, yeah!
I felt bad for the tankers, the guys in the tanks.
Oh
yeah.
And they're just like, No. We're in a tank to defend it. Stop.
Yeah.
Off they go, and they're killed by
Yeah,
it's
you
like-
girls got to get out of here. Here,
Mhm.
up the tank at that thing.
Yep. So, and again, love this element is that, Eiko and Biko don't even realize there's an alien invasion going on. Their duel just continues, and they're just throwing tanks at each other to try to kill each other, and that isn't even enough. You also have that gorgeous reveal of the ship, the 4-mile long battleship, which just keeps on coming and coming and coming.
Which I swear is also a Macross thing.
Oh yeah,
Because I
Definitely.
think in Do You Remember Love, when Mendoza's ship shows up, you see in darkness nothing, and then all of a sudden you see the giant reflector ray show up, and then the whole thing starts to reveal back from shadow.
Yep.
It's just like,
Oh yeah. Oh, I am sure this is a Do You Remember Love reference. Totally. And then that gorgeous space fight sequence with the fighters and the oh man.
the Atomic Circus
but at
rockets
least-
and things going
Oh,
around.
my God.
Ah.
They're jumping from plane, and she's jumping from plane to plane, and like each pilot is
Oh.
just like,
Yeah.
they get the reward of the pantsuit shot, and they're just like, okay, and then like 30,
They
like,
die.
not even 3 seconds later, they just blow up, and like, Eiko is just like going, okay,
Yeah.
jump from plane to plane, okay,
And again,
okay.
oblivious to like what's going
Yes,
on for the most
exactly.
part. It's
You know,
just like,
I have tempted. I was half not to. I was half expecting her to like call over her shoulder as they're like dying from missile in the sternum, going sorry,
Sorry. Exactly.
sorry.
And this is probably where the movie gets its most cartoony in terms of physics and such, because she's literally leaping from missile to missile.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's obviously it's fun, but it's like, and you can totally tell this is a writer's room moment. Where it's like, okay, how do we get her from there to there? We have to figure out some way of getting her there because they wouldn't let her, and they wouldn't let her. And how do they do that? Oh, just come up with something, and boy, they did. And then you get Biko in there, and here's where they first start hinting the big reveal from later, because all the soldiers come out and they're all female.
Yeah.
And that was where I was like, wait, that's interesting. Those are all female soldiers. I wonder why that is. And then I think it's right after that we get the reveal of D. And D without the suit on.
If this is your first time watching Eiko, just it's okay when you're gonna have the reveal when you're gonna go what it's okay it's okay
Yeah.
it'll be okay.
He has great fashion sense.
He definitely has a fashion sense. And so it just gets crazier and crazier. I also love that when Biko finally finds Seiko, she sees like the glass force field and then just like unloads missiles on it 2 inches away from Seiko's face.
Right.
And all it does is break the glass,
Yeah.
basically straight down. It doesn't blow in and like shatter all over Seiko. Magic glass. It's fine. It's a spaceship. It does things. It's
Right.
anime.
Totally.
It's anime.
And then Biko discovers the thing, and we get her fight with D, which again, to your point, as silly as it is, there is a weight, there's a physicality to this fight,
Yep.
where you feel every hit, you feel what's going on,
Yeah.
and of course it also happens to be cutting away Eiko's clothing, because it's anime.
Giant sword slice. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it just continues on until we get to the bridge sequence. And I love this because again, this is one of these science fiction these guys are clearly science fiction fans because we've all seen those sequences where people are shooting each other on a ship, and we've all thought that seems dangerous to me. And sure enough, they get into a firefight on the bridge, and it ends poorly. That's not something you
Well,
want to do.
it wouldn't have, arguably, with a handgun.
True.
But it's when the captain whips
Was
out
out the
machine gun.
the laser machine gun.
out of like
Nowhere.
This is like, oh, now that is a bad idea. A really bad idea.
And I love how they never clearly define. Don't hit the thing.
Right,
The
yes.
thing that Biko is standing behind. Don't hit it. D, what are you doing? What are you doing with the handgun? Don't do it. Okay, here, let me do the laser cannon thing. And oh no, I hit the thing. You never know. The thing is never explained.
Yeah.
To you. But once the thing is hit, you're like, oh, I actually did not need to have that explained to me because now we know what happened.
Exactly. Universal MacGuffin. Totally. Which causes the big apocalyptic ship to crash. Amidst this, somebody put in the chat, the most 80s soundtrack, which is
I loved it.
very true. There are John, you actually put that in the soundtrack or in the chat. Yeah, it's interesting because like it's not 80s in the sense of like pop music. It's 80s in the sense of just that that the drums and the synths and all that.
I had a total Soul Train thing going on with that music. I had a total Soul Train, like it was like the beat and the music. I was like, it was like watching Soul Train. The one white girl on there, going, it was awesome.
Oh, it's great. And then we get of course our denouement of everyone going back, where we get the reveal. I don't know how many folks watching this notice this. As Eiko is running off, we see her parents, one of whom is a very stocky gentleman in glasses, one of whom is a woman holding up a red and blue uniform and who looks suspiciously like a certain Diana. We discover that her parents are Superman and Wonder Woman, which kind of does make sense.
Except for not being able to fly.
True.
You know what I mean? You'd think she would kind of get that part too.
She basically can. She can jump as 80 feet in the air. And we get that that great image of the spaceship just sitting there.
Sitting on the top.
Just whatever.
Well, one of the things that you don't get from just watching repeatedly non-dub, non-sub is the fact at one point in time the captain says, is that like a De Gaulle class ship?
Right, yes, yeah.
And it's like, I could kind of piece that together because it was, you have an average like human city and this weirdly funky tower in the middle of nowhere. I'm like, what's the chances that that's the alien something that hit the city?
It's the SDF
and then finally, now I get this, and they're like, is that a ship? And I'm like, oh, yeah, here it is. All right, good.
You have a ship on your ship. Yeah. And then everything is, back to normal. Everything's fine. Everything's good. Except Biko is there waiting.
The universe is low. Please donate.
Guys hanging out.
Well, in the explosion, I don't remember the bridge separating itself. I saw you see the front end of the ship go off, and yet the bridge magically lands at school. Even though the way that the main ship is oriented, they should have shot off in that shot to the left.
No, there's no way. So, absolutely no way.
Kind of boomerang the bridge back into school.
And then just having that one beautiful little touching scene of Seiko going, yo-ho! Yo-ho!
Yo-ho! Yeah, like, shut up. The first 2 times you did it was fine. Just shut the hell up.
And that's when the Earth forces who just got their butt whooped just said, to your guys' points, why didn't they just phone us and say they wanted this little brat?
Just send her. Take her.
We will wrap her up and just give her to you right here, please.
Which also reveals why Seiko is not really the main plot point of the later Eiko movies. Like she's there and she's around, but it's not about her because you can only take so much Seiko.
Yeah.
Except for Gray Side versus Blue Side. That's true. That is very much a Seiko-oriented thing, but it's a sort of alternate universe, so it gets weird.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed Eiko, the sequel movies are more of the same. I would say they're not quite as well sort of structured. Yeah, they don't provide quite the same experience the first movie does, but they're definitely very much in the same mold.
Once you get to Project Eiko VS 5s, I guess. I don't know. It gets really difficult to watch.
Yeah. And I think that's Gray Side versus Blue Side, which is the sort of Eiko and Biko in space spin-off.
Like
alternate
hanging out and doing stuff together. And
it's
just...
we said about this before. It's basically Eiko and Biko as Dirty Pair, which is...
Yeah.
It's a fun take on it, because at that point you're like, how many of these can we make? So they had to sort of make a left turn, and it's, it's fun, but it's different. And Endman is right. The budget is not as high for the later ones, but because I don't know much of any other animated films outside of Ghibli that have an animation budget like this. Jeez. It's nuts. And you're right, GameScape in the chat. This did feel like a call to arms to the anime industry of saying, hey, here's what we can do. Give us the money, give us the budget, here's what we can actually, achieve over the course of an entire movie. Because you'd had segments like this in Macross and New Remember Love and things like that, but they were relatively isolated, where now they were much more integrated into these long, extended scenes. And it also should be pointed out, one of the things that really impresses me about Eiko is how on model it is. As cartoony and as goofy as the characters are, it doesn't feel like, oh, this is that guy's cut, that is that guy's cut, that is that guy's cut.
Right.
It feels very much of a, of a kind all the way through. I guess partly because it is kind of a goofy, plasticky kind of a universe, but still very impressive. And all done 2D on cells.
Yeah. It's a lot of cell work, man.
A lot of cell work. Just nuts.
Although I would have to say that if I were Seiko and I were looking up at the pink whirlybird thing that is being powered by Mari, who's grunting through the whole thing, and there's this whole... It seemed like it took forever to convince Seiko to come up onto the airship and the whirligirl, whatever. Yeah. And so finally what took it was Mari doing the grimace of a smile, like, eh. And she's like, okay, I'll come up. I'm like, going, no, if that gave me that smile, I was like, I would probably be like, you're going to eat me. No, thank you. I don't want to take a ride with you.
Yeah. There it is. Yeah, it's a... and I still haven't figured out, what is that? Because that feels like a reference to me. Like that whirligig thing. Yeah. It's got to be from something, but I don't know.
I mean, it's very specific, considering that Biko has created all these, wacky machines that are obviously internally powered somehow, and yet here we have this giant flying pink elephant.
Yeah.
That is bicycle powered. That seems kind of not exactly in Biko's kind of realm of functionality.
Not at all. So yeah, what's your reference? And I would have thought no. I would have thought it might have been a Nadia reference, because they have the giant thing. Yeah. But Nadia is not for years later, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's. Oh, cool! I made an impression on your mom, then, man. That's awesome. There was something else I wanted to mention here. It definitely makes an impression. No question there. What was it? Dang it! I wanted to point out something about the whole thing, but it's not there. So I guess I'm not going to be able to, which is unfortunate. There are quite a few, as we mentioned, jokes and references in this. When Eiko and Biko are out of the town, they go and they watch a movie.
It was hilarious where she
yes.
gets scared in the movie and she screams and you're just like, okay, wait a minute, you're just like super powered and you just beat the holy heck out of these machines and you're on this date and this guy just appears on the screen and you
the Colonel.
Colonel Sanders is the horrible monster in the alleyway.
Have some of my fried chicken.
No! And by the way,
it's bad for you.
The movie they're watching, I think that's Harmageddon. It's an actual. They reanimated it, but it is a very specific reference to that work. That they're kind of reworking and just inserting Colonel Sanders into. Although did you also notice, and I'm sure I'm not going to be able to find it, but 1010 from Ursa Yatsura is right behind Siko's shoulder, I believe.
Really?
Yeah, and he's just sitting up there watching it.
Oh, damn! I missed that.
And like I said, there's no way it's going to be able to stop on that one frame. But and there were a few other things. In some of the crowd shots, there were folks where I'm like, I think that's one of the Maison de Koku characters or something. Like all crushed up, trying to do something. So there are a few of those there. If you're watching closely and you're familiar with whatever 1983 anime.
There's Easter eggs abounding.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. So that is Party Deco. It's an experience.
It's an anime tour de force.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to laugh, if you want a parody, if you want to, that kind of a thing, definitely watch it. If you're into older anime, if you like older anime, you're definitely going to be rewarded by this movie. This is just going to reward you up and down.
And it's one of those that you don't honestly need to know anything about what the plot is going on. You can just watch it and enjoy it for its like kinetic motion and just absorb the goodness that is the animation quality.
That's one of the great fun things about this is that you can enjoy it as a goofy comedy, you can enjoy it as a parody of science fiction, you can enjoy it as a parody of anime tropes, you can enjoy it for just the insane action animation quality. There's a lot here to appreciate about Eiko, as long as you understand that serious anime this is not.
Right.
Thankfully, this is not Grave of the Fireflies.
No, but we will get to that.
No. God, that would be a horrible parody. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Wow.
Somebody probably pitched that idea. I'd be like, let's lighten it up and do something funny, and they'd probably slap them.
I mean, true. There's a Barefoot Gen parody in AOV Hell 3, right?
Oh,
God, there
no.
is.
Mm-hmm.
There is.
Oh,
yeah.
Why?
Yep. Yep, there is. Uh-huh.
Oh my god.
There's a brief Grave of the Fireflies. yeah. There's actually a brief Grave of the Fireflies thing, but it's just, a wacky song to like a character going back and forth like this in Grave of the Fireflies. It was just, okay. There was nothing, but yeah, people have gone there. Which
all it comes to mind is there's a meme that's Batman and Robin.
Oh yeah,
and Robin says something stupid and he backhands him. Like all I can see is Robin being like, "Let's do a parody of Grave of the Fireflies." No,
yeah, totally. That's a good point, Ant-Man too. Yeah, the school is not unlike the school from Ursa Yatsura.
That's right. Yeah. That front portico area.
Mm-hmm. See if I can get. Yeah. Which again, I'm sure is a thing. And like you were saying, Steve, the teacher is she's Creamy Mommy, grown up.
Yeah.
And I believe she has the same voice actors as Creamy Mommy as well.
That's funny.
Yeah. And so that was kind of they're having fun with that. Also, something else I did want to note, which I'll see if I can get a shot at here somewhere, and which I think, again, is one of the things they were kind of having fun with. When you see all the other girls in school, I'm not going to get a good crowd shot. Most of the girls have, like, blue hair. You know, the amount of like simple
hair?
Yeah. Just the amount of simple brown and black hair is about half of the class. And the other half has like some shade of blue for their hair color, which I thought was just, you know, again, one of these silly anime tropes that they just kind of push up to 11. But again, I don't think I can get a still of that.
You just want to buy the still of Biko being creepy with the, you know, footage that was obtained of Seiko.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, the scene where you know, put in the CD or the DVD, and she's just watching Seiko in this dark room. It's just like,
yeah. Which
So
again,
it was BD watching the people get killed in the.
no.
Which again may have been an element from the original version that they was. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
good old BD.
Good old, yeah.
BD.
It's not that time yet. But yeah, it's Eiko's a lot of fun, and the other thing about Eiko that's worth mentioning is, and the reason I include it here is not just because it's this fun, cool movie, but because it is sort of this encapsulation of the transition anime was going through at the time, where you have what we've been seeing up to this point. You have sort of the more naturalistic animation of some of the 60s movies moving into the very, you know, TV anime style animation of the stuff from the 70s and the early 80s. And then budgets start to really rise. And you see anime staff saying, hey, we can really do something special with anime itself. Not trying to copy what the Americans are doing, not trying to copy what the Russians are doing. We're doing very much our own thing. And so it's fascinating seeing that as this sort of time capsule of anime. Yeah, that's Urusayatsu. That's Project Takao. Wow, that's how many things they're doing
the
here.
Dream?
Ah, see, it all comes together. It all comes together. When I woke up this
the
morning,
back of a turtle.
it felt like I was, you know. That's okay. That's okay. Tomorrow's the school festival, and this will all be over.
Yeah.
Poor Willie.
As long as we got the tank and the
Right.
cafe up and running, we're set. What?
Oh, that was a movie.
It was.
Cool. All right, we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be back in a few minutes with some chat about what we're thankful for in this season as 2020 is drawing to a close, and we'll be talking about and then some news. We have some happy news this week. So we will see you all in a little bit. Please stand by.
Now, are we experiencing a significant delay? Because I was gonna say, because I'm looking at we're normal time. I'm looking at YouTube, and we're still like
It's always been that way for
back
me.
a ways.
We're behind about 15. Well, I've always been behind 15 seconds.
I was gonna say, because it just seemed to me like we were a little closer in time when I'm watching this on Discord and YouTube's running next to it, but right. Okay. Because now we just went to the please stand by screen. That's how long it's been.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it doesn't affect anything. As long as I have Discord running,
Right.
we can do things over here that it takes time to do over on YouTube.
So. Labs said, "Oh, this is what you're trying to do." We're not doing that.
This is not exactly what we discussed.
All right, buy a break.
All right. The sevenfold
Painful
path.
path.
Yeah,
Painful path.
Like the sevenfold path to enlightenment. Painful death. Wow. went in the dark on that one, Steve. Thanks. Trying to find enlightenment, you want people to die. No, that's not the kind of enlightenment we need.
Which is ironic, because the video that I did this past week was about the Buddha manga.
Yes, I saw that, which I know you and Brent have talked about before. So.
Yeah. If you ever get a chance, it's something. It's really something. Really good stuff.
Isn't it out of print? I mean, is it available digital manga now, or?
I don't know if it's available digital, but you can find it in the 8-volume format, American format, and I don't think it's on moratorium. I don't think it's out of print or moratorium. I think you can still get it through Amazon.
There we go. All right, I think we're switched back. Hello, everyone. We're back. See some new folks in the chat. Good to see you all. Wesley Gopal. Welcome, welcome. Danuski, don't think I've seen you. Brent W. Love your name. It's a great name. N-Man, Game Escape. Good to see you guys. To see you all in here. Just scrolling back. That was a lot of fun. If you guys are still in chat, I'd like to know, because I want to give away some stuff. I've got a bunch of stuff here that I kind of like to give away, and I'm honestly thinking of doing kind of a super giveaway, because I have some miscellaneous anime here. A whole variety of things, and it's the problem where I'm like, I feel bad giving away just one of these things, because they're so random. But I kind of want to give away some, a whole package. You can experience a cornucopia of anime all at once, because it's kind of odd. So, for example, I have not that. I have
Hanukkah Kwanzaa giveaway.
Kadocha, Child's Toy, one of my favorite comedies of all time. Really fun, goofy anime series, episodes 17 through 24. I have, this is not that. This is, Haibane Renmei, an amazing anime series about characters in a very unusual situation, sort of thoughtful psychological anime. Hey, Passion. Thoughtful psychological anime series, episodes 5 through 7. I have, what is this? Would I do this to you? I think I might. This is Escaflowne, one of the great classic fantasy mecha anime series. Music by Yoko Kanno. This is the final 3 episodes of the TV series.
Oh. Wow.
So you get the climax of Escaflowne. And I might also throw in, just for fun, this totally legit English release. This totally, definitely not from somewhere strange version of Fushigi Yugi, the mysterious play. It is definitely on DVD. It has Chinese subtitles, so you know it's legit. And it is some amount of Fushigi Yugi. There is nothing on here providing any information about what is on here. It just says it is a thing. There's the disc. Again, this is clearly legit. No length, no nothing. This could be 1 episode. It could be 8. Who knows? So then I'm going to put all of this in one big pack and offer all of this to the chat room. If anyone wants to get in on this whole bunch of stuff, feel free. You'll own a chunk of anime. We're going to do this the classic way. I'm going to spin the die of anime genres. We have ended on a roll. We have it now. I'm going to go ahead and show you the genres. I'd like you all in chat, if you're interested in this, please guess what genre I just rolled on the die. Whoever guesses right gets a whole pack of miscellaneous anime.
All I can think is with that Chinese DVD that it shows like VOLS volumes, and then shows like a sigma signal, and then a dash and a picture of a chicken. Like,
It is not Mecha.
How many episodes is that?
By the way, apparently the Fushigi Yugi release has both Japanese and the English dubs. Because why not? Yeah, that's...
The English dubs are actually English dubs, but
yeah.
more like
And-
broken English.
Yeah, are they the official English dubs? I have no idea. This might be fun to play. It is not shoujo. We do not have that yet.
When you kill someone, they die.
I have no doubts the English subs will be not great. It is not Magical Girl. If you've already guessed, go ahead and throw another guess in there. And hopefully we'll get someone here. Toot sweet. It is one of the genres. Yes. Immediately. And we'll see who ends up with a whole bunch. Four volumes of anime for free. That's not bad. It is not seinen. I'm just going to double check here just to make sense. Just make sure. Yep, sure enough. So this is the Escaflowne Volume 8, Forever and Ever, including the insert there.
Ooh.
So there's the insert with... Oh, neat. Some art. Some Escaflowne art and some background information. And some information on various anime discs you can buy. You could actually buy Volume 5 of Cowboy Bebop if you wanted to. Gundam Wing Volume 3, Outlaw Star Volume 2, Saber Marionette J Volume 1, and Gundam Wing the movie. We have not gotten it yet. Again, just double checking here on these. Yep, sure enough, there's Haibane Renmei. And this comes with one of the things I really like. Oh, this comes with that too! You guys are lucky if you get this, because you not only get the little booklet, which includes art, actual Yoshoshi Abe art, like a little mini poster here, a little mini comic, if you will, various things from that. You also get a mini shitajiki. So a mini hard plastic pencil board of having Renmei characters. That's nice. That's pretty cool. We still have not gotten the genre yet. Go ahead and throw another guess in there, guys, if you want. And hopefully someone will get this. Just double checking on Kadocha. Oh!
So you get a free certificate for all of the volumes if it's redeemed within 30 days.
That's interesting.
Of 1999.
Exactly.
Damn.
I may have to double check on this because I may have some swapping out to do because this contains 2 volumes that are not 17 to 24. Schoolgirl Superstar and Crush of Truth are the first 2 volumes of Kadocha. So I'll have to go and find out what's going on there. I may have swapped these out with others in my collection. So we'll figure it out. We'll get there, don't worry. You will get something. We still do not have a guess in the chat room. And I'm going to have to close this here pretty soon. It might be that nobody gets the big old collection of stuff, which would be a shame, a crying shame, if no one else wants to guess.
But it's like the
And
lottery.
get some free
the
anime.
lottery amount just goes up. So next time it'll be even more stuff.
That's true. It could be more. It's not Iskai. Keep on throwing those guesses in. Someone will get it. Someone will get it. That wouldn't be fair, Captain Laser Eyes, though. It's gotta be...
Gotta stick to your guns.
Gotta stick to my guns. Yep. And only 10 genres. Not that bad.
There's 10.
And close it down a few more.
So if everybody guessed once,
Mm-hmm.
they would have a chance of getting.
Yep. Yeah. It's possible. Gonna end it in a minute here. Gotta see if we get someone. If not, then this will go in the stack. The big old stack of anime. And I will add something onto it, something perhaps to sweeten the pot next time. Perhaps that's how we'll have to do it. All right, I don't see any more guesses, so I'm going to have to close this one for now, and we will come back to this next week, and I will add onto the pot next week. I might throw onto there next week. Well, I have a few things. Oh! I might throw into that next week, knocking over my tea. One moment, while I resolve that, because that's not good to have sitting around my toilet.
Oh.
There we go. How you all doing? How's life with all of you guys in the chat room? How's experiences? What have you been watching, anime-wise, reading, manga-wise? I'm curious. Keeping up with new stuff, catching up on old stuff. I've watched a few things this week, which we'll get into here in a moment. Ah, just missed. Missed it by that much. Danuski's been watching Battle Athletes. Good for you. I love Battle Athletes. OVAN series. Cool. Yeah, Battle Athletes is a really fun sort of exploration of sport in the science fiction universe. Yeah, Battle Athletes is great. Battle Athletes was one of the first cheap anime. So they experimented with releasing Battle Athletes. I think it was $20 a disc instead of 30 for three episodes. And everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, got to jump on that!" And sure enough, like it was a great experience for that. 5 more episodes of the series. Okay, so Danuski, you should know. This is very important. I'm not trying to spoil anything. The main plot line gets completed 4 episodes from the end, and the last 3 episodes are they are a continuation of the story, but it's a very different plot line. Like they build up to the big climax of, I mean, it's the Cosmo Beauty contest, Cosmo Beauty thing. That builds up to the end, and then something happens. Episode 22, 23, end of 23, I think. And then those last 3 episodes are it goes in its own direction. And it's worth watching. Like, it's cool, and there's some great moments in it. Some of my favorite moments in Battle Athletes are in those last 3 episodes. But just be ready for a left turn, right? And I can't reveal anything else without getting to spoilers, because it's very spoilery. But you saw that Astro Boy Volume 4. That's fun. Yeah, and that is fair end, man. Is that I think Astro Boy is it came out serially. People were really consuming that over the long term. So I think it is totally fair to that mainlining Astro Boy can be a little overwhelming. Not really what it's designed for. I think that the Greatest Man on Earth plotline you could probably mainline because it's going to very dense, very, very, all of a type, all of a kind. A lot of the other stuff is just yeah. So let's ask some other folks about that, shall we? Because I'm kind of curious what's going on with these gentlemen. Hey, John. Hey, Steve.
Hey.
Hello.
So
yeah.
I was gonna say, keeping in the vein of Aiko, because I needed laughs this week. I watched from Fun Animation, Gal and Dino.
Yes.
Gal and
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I remember seeing. I never saw it, but yeah.
Yeah, and I am almost caught up on that, and something I'll talk about more on my channel. But basically, it's if you want something just borderline meaningless and you just want to laugh and just have like multiple media coming in because it's like animation, stop motion animation, live action, kind of stuff going on at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. It's about a subset of society. I'm probably going to mispronounce it. Gitaru, where young women are fashionistas. Basically, it's
gallery.
I think that's it.
Yeah, they're gals.
Gals. Yeah, that's it. And so she basically, the premise is that on the first episode, she goes out drinking with her friends, and she comes back. She wakes up, and there's a dino on her futon.
Okay.
She's on her bed, and the dino's on her futon, and it's just about.
Boy, I got drunk last night.
And she basically just accepts this, and so the rest of the series is just slice of life, things happening. The dino just lives at her place now and just does stuff. And the other thing that I am almost caught up on as well that I really liked, but for some reason it fell off my anime map was that is The Bottleneck, which you and I watched the first episode back on the fall releases. Those are just the 3.5-minute episode type of deals, and so I'm almost through to that. And it's about working in the if you're a retail person, if I'm not working in the arts, I'm working in retail. That's kind of how my life works. Mm-hmm. So if you work in retail, this is definitely going to appeal to you. Mm-hmm. Okay. If you like Kevin Smith's Clerk stuff, this is definitely going to appeal to you. But it's going to be minus the stuff that's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. But it's just 3.5 minutes of just existential funniness happening and just weirdness. And there's this one character and I got to the point where they reveal his face, but for the majority of the series, they don't reveal Mudo's face. And there's a reason why they call him Mudo, and there's a reason why you don't see his face. But it's just a very interesting thing. So it's just it's just a very slice of life type of convenience store in the middle of Shinjuku or whatever. And this is not anime to mean anything. This is anime to sit down and just go, oh, hey, I get it. That's funny. All right, cool. It's just cool. something to chuckle at.
Wesley in the chat.
And I'm rereading Dune.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Wow.
That's what that is right up there.
Yep. Cool. Wesley in chat, you're reading the wedding issue of Love is Hard for Otaku. What is that like? I've heard of the title. I'm aware of it, but I haven't actually read the manga. I'm curious what that's like. John, how about you?
Well, continuing to watch along with things like Kuma Bear. Tony Kaku Kawaii, the one where they get married the first episode.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was sort of getting a little fatigued on not really enjoying it as much as I was wanting to, until this week's episode took a turn.
Really?
Something's odd. So now it has gone from okay, just cutesy, let's go buy furniture, to okay. Ooh, okay. Now what could be happening here? So
cool.
That's gotten my attention, and a lot of the other Maju no Tabi, the flying witch, or not witch, the ashen witch one. Mm-hmm. Just a lot of cute stuff out right now. That's really just very enjoyable. The traveling witch, it might be traveling witch. Mm-hmm. That one is just, there's a little bit of drama kind of things that kind of go on, but most of it is just so relaxing. You just kind of get this nice travel log of somebody going around, and it's just okay, I'm fairly happy with this fall into winter season. It's going kind of nice. Mm-hmm. Nice. Watching is the Order of Rabbit, next season of that, which is absolutely nothing but cute girls doing cute things.
Okay.
And they for reasons that it's just me trying to keep up with everything I'm watching anyway. I just got to their Halloween episode, and it's just cute girls doing cute Halloween things, and I'm like, oh, that's so sweet. So a lot of stuff to feel good there in this, Thanksgiving week, just to chill out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I watched a very light, fun movie this week. It's actually a rewatch. Demon City Shinjuku.
Just light, very light.
Very
light.
Yes.
It's just a lovely rom-com romp in the field.
Cute girls doing cute things.
Cuddly characters.
Yeah. Cuddly characters. They definitely want to cuddle you.
Cuddle you with extreme violence.
Exactly. I had watched this back in the 90s on the Sci-Fi Channel. And I remember not liking it much at the time. Really enjoying I found a lot of the fight scenes very visually arresting, and very interestingly done. But I found the movie itself just didn't really click with me, and it showed up on one of the streaming services. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna rewatch this, and yep, my opinion has not changed. It's very dull most of the time, interrupted with these very interestingly staged fight scenes. Right. But literally, there's a 5 or 6 minute duel at the beginning between two people that you have no idea who they are, and so it's just okay, they're fighting, and something bad is going to happen, I guess, but there's just no motivation to any of it. And then the second scene, which is again 5, 6, 7 minutes, is literally the pointer scene of old guys showing up at shonen protagonist's place and telling him all the backstory. And it's just give me something here. And it's just,
So it's a 2-finger whiskey movie, huh?
Yeah, it was one of those things where as long as you go in understanding that it is this very moody movie, and it's by the guy who did Vampire Hunter D and a bunch of other movies like that. So, it's that tone, but up to 11 in terms of the nothing happens, something happens. So once you go into it and recognize that it's kind of that pace of film, then it was reasonably entertaining. I also caught another episode of The Day I Became a God. Jun Maeda's current anime. So that's episode 2. I'm gonna get through more of it. I promise. I don't know why more people aren't talking about this anime, because it functions so well as a classic anime comedy, and then once or twice an episode something happens where you're like, huh.
That's not good.
Yeah. Or that's not what I expected that character to say in that situation.
Yeah.
Clearly there's more going on here than I thought there was. So for those not familiar, Weird Girl shows up to mess with a guy and claims to be a god and claims the world will end in 30 days. Episode 2, she moves in with him because anime. And she claims to be a long lost relative, and he's like, that's surely not true, but his parents go along with it. And then halfway through the episode, she's they've gone through stuff, she's fallen asleep, and the parents look down at her and look at each other and go, man, I can't believe she's finally shown up. And they cut away, and you're like, huh. So it's that kind of thing where it just keeps pulling you along. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing more of it. Yeah, and they say this in a way of they clearly know her, and they're oh, she's adorable, all that kind of stuff, and can't believe it's finally happened. It's so yeah, I just the quality of writing on the show in terms of how it's going from piece to piece is really impressing me.
Because I finally found it last week.
Okay, yeah.
And from what you guys had said about watching, the new releases and stuff, it's I've got it sort of earmarked, and I'm going to go to it. So it's just like, but I had a little trepidation from what you had discussed about it. Like,
And that's
is it going to be something that's going to be heavy?
Another thing I appreciate is that episode 1 is all comedy. Episode 2 introduces the romance, like the initial, the romance plot line,
Right.
and it's not between him and the little girl.
Thank goodness.
Yes.
She's actually 45. She's just really.
Well, she's a god, right? She's a god, so age doesn't even matter. But no. And
by the censors.
Exactly.
I'm just reminded of that scene in Gate, where he has to explain to the Japanese Congress or Diet or whatever it's called.
Where Rory,
yeah. Rory's actually 995 years old.
Yeah.
That one's about 215, and that one, she's actually 15, but the others they're fine.
Yeah.
So you do have the romance stuff, and I do have a suspicion about what the end of the world actually means, and we'll see if that is carried through.
That plays out.
We'll find out.
It's a boy and a girl's first kiss. Oh.
Maybe, who knows?
Or
no, there better be like fire at the end of the universe, because if it's just the first kiss, or their first hand holding, somebody's gonna get a throat punch. We touched hands. Now we can't ever get married. I don't understand hand holding.
So there's a great moment in Kadocha. I'll do a bit of setup here. So Kadocha, Sana-chan there is a 12-year-old actress, child star. And at one point in the plot, she is very, very busy. She ends up running around town doing stuff and basically falls asleep on a park bench. The man who plays her father in the show that she's doing happens to be walking along and sees her asleep on the park bench. Basically looks around and is like, this isn't good. Picks her up and takes her home with him. And she wakes up in his bed. And she wakes up and looks up, and he's getting up off the couch, going into the bathroom, all that kind of stuff. And she goes, I can never be married. And he goes, Sana, you're 12. I put you in bed. I slept on the couch. Like, no.
This is not a thing.
Wow. Hello, child
Jedi mind trick. Nothing happened. I swear to God, nothing happened. It would be just as bad for me as it would be for you. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
And I just appreciated that, because it's kind of one of those things where like, what? Of course, this is how it would turn out. But yeah, her reacting to that is kind of one of those, one of those freak out moments that every anime character has to have, but then reality sets in.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's what I've been watching. Also read a little bit of more of Spy Family. Really loving that. Which just continues that tone. The little girl now realizes she has to protect herself at school, so she has asked her mommy to teach her how to protect herself. Mommy's a secret assassin, so we're gonna see how that turns out.
Krav Maga!
Oh no! And this is a wire, and here's what you do with a wire.
Nice.
But yeah. Cool. Y'all hear that? Oops. Date's wrong. Date's still wrong. There we go. Cool. Welcome to the latest anime news for the week ending November 28th, 2020. Let's get right into it. Wow, this is not set up at all. Hold on. I just remembered something. So, yeah, remember when I set everything up for the laptop? I set up all the news on the laptop and all of the... so all of the... Yeah, give me a sec.
Song and dance.
Yeah. One moment, please.
Just focus the camera on the laptop screen.
Exactly, yeah, there we are.
Here we are.
The things that you think is going to work, and then just don't. So I may end up not having images this time around, but that's okay. The images aren't all that central, I don't think, as I recall. So we'll just throw those in here. Which is so unprofessional. And we'll throw that there. And I gotta make sure I remove the images from last time so we don't get some very confusing visuals crossing over with things. That actually works, so we'll keep that image in there. Cool. All right. You saw nothing. Welcome to the latest anime and manga news for the week ending November 28th, 2020. Let's get into it. The Gundam-exclusive manga magazine Gundam Ace announced 3 brand new manga this week in the Gundam franchise. The first 2 launched in this month's issue, and the third will launch next month. The first new manga this month is Iwasaki's The 30ish Office Worker Haman-sama, which reimagines Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam's grave antagonist Haman Karn as a modern corporate section chief in the apparel company Neo Zeon. I can't wait to read that. The second is Tani's Rawl Feasts, Ramba Rawl's Immortal Meal. Might be Immoral Meal, I'm not sure. A gourmet manga showing Zeon Ace Ramba Rawl taking care of the nightclub Club Eden while its staff are away and enjoying freely eating without anyone to bother him. The cooking and gourmet sections of the manga are being supervised by Sanami Suzuki, who has created several manga, including the cooking-focused Hokusai Tomeshi Seireba. Each chapter will also feature an afterword from Suzuki on the chapter's featured meal. Next month's new manga is Osamui Wakai and Satoshi Takemiya's Amuro to Boku, or Amuro and I. This manga does not have an official synopsis yet, so folks will have to keep an eye out for this one next month. Now, here's the thing. Haman Karn is one of the scariest villains in Gundam history. And so, she's just this no-nonsense leader of Neo Zeon who just gets the work done. And so reimagining her as the head of an office department in an apparel company is hilariously perfect. Like, it fits. Yeah. And I'm sure we're going to have tons of, cameos from various Gundam characters in there. But I did not realize Gundam Ace, and I have to do some more digging. Obviously, none of these are, Gundam storylines. They're all spin-off things.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I guess you kind of have to do with a franchise as long-running as Gundam. I don't know.
Well, it just provides the opportunity for merchandising and money.
Yep.
For money.
Absolutely.
Well, because they had me at Ramba Rawl's Immoral Feast.
Yes.
I take my money.
Mm-hmm.
Just take it all. Just how much will this get me?
Yeah.
Basically, what
Yeah.
I feel like. But I given that I enjoy, I'm a foodie and I enjoy those kinds of things. If you watch Midnight Diner Tokyo's live action, there's a story, but it's all revolved around food. Food Wars, I'm still enjoying.
Yep.
I'm kind of. I don't get to it as much as I often as I can, but I've been seeing actual videos on YouTube. Speaking of Food Wars, of actual chefs making the dishes.
Yes.
from
Oh,
that
cool.
anime.
Yes.
And they are on the anime they sound fantastic. It's like there's no way there's going to do that. Like the rice dish she does in the first couple episodes, where the gelatin melts into the rice. So, they actually did that, and you actually see it in real life happening.
That's cool.
And I'm just like, it's like this at the screen. You're just like, oh,
Yeah.
I want. Can I have? So of course I'm going to be getting this manga.
Steve, have you seen Samurai Gourmet?
I love Samurai Gourmet.
Isn't that great?
I actually did a review of that on my channel. That is a wonderful little show. That is, oh my god! For those of you who haven't seen it, go see it. It's.
I have not.
This guy retires, okay, and he's got nothing to do in his life, and his wife is basically who is very young-ish compared to him. Mm-hmm. And so she kicks him out of the house, basically. He's just like, go out and go walk. So he's walking around, and he sees all these food joints that he's never paid attention to before because he's always been a good worker, and he's always been rushing by these places to get on time to work and do his job and the salary man. And now he has the time to enjoy these things. And as he's going in, he's confronted with like social faux pas and things like that. And he goes, what would the hero from my samurai novels do? And so he imagines a samurai coming into the restaurant, ordering a bowl of ramen, and it's just, and he kind of emulates that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
it's great fun.
But it's really between that and there's episodes that are really kind of sweet where where he remembers like his childhood, and particular like grilled fish that he had at this particular inn that he and his friends used to go to. So there's an entire episode of just him on his own little vacation finding this place and just having that memory, that food memory, and just it's like that moment from Ratatouille where the guy he's the critic at the end and he has that wonderful memory. It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
But sorry, I kind of taking over here. But
no.
Samurai Gourmet. Oh.
I believe it's a Netflix series, and it's live action. So, and one of the fun things about it is that when we say he imagined what samurai would be, they completely like reset the restaurant to look like it's a samurai era restaurant, and like all of the people who were in the restaurant before are now the same actors but in samurai period dress. Acting like a samurai era, like Edo period. So it's really playing around, really a lot of fun. The episode with the Bakugai Jin was probably my favorite as well. Two Americans come into a restaurant and try to order food, and everyone's kind of rolling their eyes, and so it's the whole foreigner thing.
Yeah, it's great. It's wonderful. It's wonderful little show.
Very fun. All right. That is not the only news this week, though, because Haruhi is back. This week finally brought the launch of the long-awaited Intuition of Haruhi Suzumiya novel, the first new entry in the series in more than 9 years, and several special things happened to celebrate the release, but it wouldn't be Haruhi if not. Takao posted a special 15-second video preview for the novel on YouTube, voiced by Haruhi herself, Aya Hirano. An official English translation was not provided with a video, but a kind fan on YouTube provided a fan translation. Quote, "Good news! The new story of SOS Brigade appears. A mystery message suddenly arrives from Tsuruya-san. This must be a challenge to us. Now things are getting interesting." End quote. Aya Hirano's voice has also been released across the internet through her music catalog, which has been released on streaming services worldwide. The back catalog includes both opening scenes from the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, along with a number of other songs from the series and many of Hirano's personal albums. On December 9th, the music of Yuko Goto, who voices Mikuro in the series, will also release across major streaming services. Between the two catalogs, a total of 557 songs will be made available. Speaking of music, the musicians make up the series' fictional band Enoz, minus Haruhi, held a 30-minute live concert to celebrate the new novel, complete with North High School uniforms and a stage setup reminiscent of the one in the anime. The video is available on the Kadokawa Anime YouTube channel until December 19th, so rush to see that. Finally, the event referenced in the mysterious announcement made on the website
prior to the novel's launch, turned out to be a makeover of Tokorozawa Sakura Town in Tokorozawa City, Saitama Prefecture. The event features an art installation, as well as posters, banners, and flags featuring the SOS Brigade logo, the weird thing, and the message, "I am here," which, if you've seen Haruhi, you know what that means. A mysterious message written in an alien language also appeared on the ground of Tokorozawa Sakura Town.
Oh, cool.
Takakawa's YouTube channel also posted a full 2-minute video highlighting the message and showing the view of it from above and various angles. What could it mean? I guess we'll have to wait and find out. So, more Haruhi is definitely worming its way into pop culture.
I still
like
have to watch it.
the collab thing where they're going out to Saitama Prefecture and doing things.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be like Osai with Girls in Panzer with all the poster boards and bits and pieces and things everywhere.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Very cool, very cool. And so for those not familiar, without getting into spoilers, this is recreating some things that happen in the story, and kind of doing various versions of that in real life. So curious, because some of that has not been actually explained yet in the anime or perhaps in the novels. I don't know. So maybe we'll get more background, more history. Who knows?
We can only hope.
We can only hope. Especially because I am not up on my Haruhi lore beyond the anime. As far as I know, Tsuruya-san is one of the few non-aliens, time traveler, or espers in the series. So getting a special message from Tsuruya-san. Just say it. Hopefully that will be
it's
a
revealed
fun thing.
being a zombie.
Who knows? Yes.
Zombie Koroiwa desu ka?
And for those of us who have not watched the anime, read the manga, or have yet, or will reading.
Oh,
as they come out. For those of us,
yeah, I know what Tsuruya-chan's going to reveal. She's from another world. She's been reincarnated from another world into this one. It's the only possible answer. Now, the Association of Japanese Animations released a yearly anime industry report that they released this. It tracks and analyzes trends across the industry and in certain aspects over the previous year. The AGA released its preliminary findings on 2019 this week and plans to release the full report on the 30th. The preliminary report found that the anime industry overall rose 15.1% in 2019 to 2.5 trillion yen, around $24 billion US. The market was at 1.26 trillion yen in 2009, so the industry has almost doubled in the last decade. The report's authors noted they had been concerned the industry would decline in 2019 due to Japan's declining birth rate, the shrinking of the domestic market, and China tightening regulations in April of 2019, but that was clearly not the case. In fact, the anime film market rose more than 62% from the year before, and internet distribution rose 15%. I wonder how much of that 62% was Demon Slayer. A few segments of the market did decline in 2019, including TV, home video, and music. The TV segment decreased about 15%, in contrast to the internet segment increasing by the same amount, and the home video market unsurprisingly decreased by 4%. So no huge shocks there. The overseas market continues to make up the largest share of the industry, accounting for 1.2 trillion yen in 2019, 19% up from the last year. The commodities market, merch, made up the second largest share, up 16% from the previous year. And the arcade and amusement center portion, all those gambling games, made up the third largest share with an increase of almost 13%. The authors attributed some of the increase in the commodities market to the widely popular Rilakkuma and Tsumiko Gurashi brands, and the increase in arcade and amusement centers to increasing collaborations between popular anime franchises and pachinko and slot machines. Hey!
Here we go.
They pointed out 2020's numbers will likely have a large decrease because of the coronavirus, so it'll probably take until 2021's report to fully understand the impact of 2019's numbers on the whole market. But still, I think cause for celebration.
celebrate. Yes.
Yeah.
And,
I'll finally get the
and
pachinko franchises that I've always desired. I mean, I'll finally get more anime like I've always desired.
Exactly.
I feel like I'm clearly in the wrong career type thing. I'm just like I feel like opening up a pachinko parlor here in Baltimore.
Exactly.
Apparently.
There you go. See?
That'd be fun. Wouldn't
Right.
that be
It's an
fun?
underserved market.
It is an underserved market.
Yeah. You know, what could go wrong, as they say.
Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing could go
Right.
wrong.
You know,
I'm sure the Maryland Gaming's Commission will probably have no problem with it.
you know, it's all above board in Japan. All those pachinko parlors, I'm sure.
Exactly.
They don't feature.
Well,
you know,
it'll give them as long as I can couch it as like, well, hey, I'll give 50% of the income to the Stadium Authority, which will give it
There we
to
go.
Maryland State of Education, which is actually how you do it here. This is how we get a casino in Baltimore, because we actually have a casino in Baltimore now.
It's true.
Interesting.
And that's actually how it works. Is that the half the revenue is supposed to somehow funnel its way to the Maryland State Stadium Authority. It goes into the Department of Education. So I'm sure if I could just give it, just hey, look, let me open a pachinko parlor.
Yeah.
It's okay. You don't need regulate. You don't need the regulate.
Yeah.
I'll be sure to give you your
it
50%.
regulates itself.
Right. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
I believe someone in the chat said Yakuza. So yeah, I'm sure it'll regulate itself.
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that was the Haruhi reveal. That's the secret thing is that they're Yakuza. Like,
Yeah. No. And the weird thing is that it's not just the fact that it's pachinko parlors. It's the fact that they are, you know, anime-themed pachinko parlors or anime-themed pachinko machines that provide extra content for folks who are curious about that franchise. So you get reveals about Slayers or whatever. So it's this very specific thing because pachinko machines are, you know, would not be actually hard to like build and put together, but it's the fact that you're getting spoilers for EVA 3.0, 1.0. I don't know. It's, you know, it's weird. Now, things have been pretty quiet in the Macross franchise for quite a while, but as of this week, the drought might be coming to an end. It was announced that Macross Frontier will be holding a new live concert, its first solo live in 10 years. The concert is set to be held in Tokyo on February 5th and 6th, 2021. This was revealed at the end of the Air Macross F Live 2020 at Macross live stream program. I don't know. Which took place on the official Macross YouTube channel, Macross. It's Macross as in channel, but on November 23rd. The concert will be titled Sankyo Presents Macross F Galaxy Live 2021. They're not done yet. Listen to our song. That's literally the title. And we'll star both Mayan and Megumi Nakajima, aka Cheryl Nome and Ronka Lee, as its main performers. The previous Macross Frontier Live, the Super Dimensional Super Live Merry Christmas Without You, took place at Nippon Budokan Hall in Tokyo and Kobe Port Island in December of 2010. Further details will be updated on the official Macross Portal site and Twitter account, so fans can keep an eye for their chance to attend, or at least hopefully snag a live stream or future DVD release. You know, I used to have a Google alert to email me daily when anything across the internet mentioned Macross. And a few weeks ago, I turned it off because I never got anything for like months. It just was never showing up in any of the news, any of the whatever.
Right.
It had dried up. So it's definitely nice hearing some stirrings within the Macross universe.
Well, as I say, it's a little engine that could, like Gundam.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so it will just keep going. I'll be curious to see this concert series. That'd be interesting.
Yeah. And I think it's wise going back because obviously Macross Delta came after Frontier, but the Macross Frontier concert, because it was Yoko Kanno, that was a big deal. And having both a well-known singer take part in it, as well as the new girl, so to speak, that made it pretty special in a lot of ways. So I think going back to that is a good way of pulling in fans. And I think it's Delta. It's just that was a big deal. So we'll see. I don't know. Do you all think that a concert would be enough to like ignite it? Like, if you were whoever's responsible for greenlighting new Macross works, would the success of a concert necessarily sway you significantly towards a new anime series or anime work?
I mean, it depends on exactly how crazy hot that concert, the demand for that concert was. I mean, if it was like, busted the internet because people are tuning into the live feed, then, that I'm sure would be the point you could turn around and be like, hey, investors, we're going to do this project. Look at the kind of traffic we're getting for this.
Yep.
It definitely would be interesting because it's a cheap way of gaining interest, throwing on a concert, honestly. And you know what the music is to Macross, so I would imagine if it didn't sway new viewers, it might cause a resurgence in people like ourselves who are familiar with the series, watch the series, love the series, and go on. And if it's something like, to me, if this was to say, hey, we're doing these concerts and guess what we're going to have at the end of it, if someone's going to promote
reveal
that there's a
something.
new series, a movie, a whatever it is, light novel,
Pachinko game.
Pachinko game.
Movie will be on the Pachinko game.
Pachinko
You have to play the
Keep
game
playing.
to see the film. You.
I need the last 15 minutes, please. But
here's the mortgage to my house.
Right. But I think that if you're going to do that, I think there's a payoff here somewhere, and I think that's whatever that is going to be. Personally, I hope it's a new series, a new movie, a new OVA. For all I know, it'll probably be, in all likelihood, I think it'll probably be an album. I think it'll be a CD.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What I'm also curious
still
about...
makes money.
Yeah. Yoko Kanno conducted those concerts. She was there as the conductor, and she played the piano during them. But there's no mention in this of Yoko Kanno, so I don't know if she's going to be involved or not. That'll be curious.
If she is, then that's going to be a huge draw. Her arrangements are amazing. Just not just her piano work, but the stuff that she wrote. All that. So, we were talking. You were trying to give away Escaflowne earlier when she was at Otakon. When I got the pleasure of seeing her at Otakon, she played the main theme on piano, and for the crowd and as she was playing it, the crowd we were all just softly singing it as she was playing it, and so she was up there really surprised, and of course at the end of it she doesn't really know any English, but she was just hearts. So but that would be really now if Yoko Kanno becomes a part of that, then okay, I'm taking the day off. I'm trying to figure out a way to get to see this.
Stream this. Yeah.
How do I do this? How do I get it? Yes, here's money I don't have. Please take it. Please take my POS card, and collateral, because I'm just a huge fan of her stuff.
Yeah.
That would be cool if she was.
And to be clear, she's kind of moved on.
Yeah.
She composed and conducted the official theme for the coronation of the new emperor.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty big stuff.
She's busy. Yeah. Which is why I say it'll be interesting to see if she comes back for this, because her reputation has risen to the point where she certainly doesn't have to.
Right.
So
she kind of hit that Paul McCartney point where
exactly
he writes classical pieces for orchestras now.
But moving right along, as we're all aware, most big conventions and events this year have had to move to online formats. A lot of them take place through live streams or chat clients, but a few have taken the next step, constructing full virtual venues to try to mimic the authentic experience. The upcoming Jump Festa 2021 online, an annual event from Shueisha's many Jump manga magazines, is doing just that. This week they revealed the Jump Fest Island, a virtual floating city featuring a number of different areas. for hosting sections of the event. Attendees can participate either through the Jump Festa 2021 online app or on the official website, and will control original characters drawn by the magazine's serialized authors. Through these characters, participants can explore Jump Fest Island to take part in various attractions, mini-events, mini-games, and other surprises across the area. Some of the venue's notable areas include Jump Super Stage, Jump Studio, and Jump Amusement Tower, where guest programs will be broadcast, the Jump Drawings Museum, and the Jump Manga Museum, where original drawings and manga from the magazine's works will be showcased, the Zabrak Library, where guests can read various Jump manga for free during the event, and, of course, the Jump Fest store to purchase exclusive and limited time merch. The event will take place on December 19th and 20th. Now, obviously, not every con organizer is effing Shueisha. Resources required for this are nuts. But what a cool idea to have kind of a virtual space.
I love the idea of it. I really do.
How many servers are we going to have to dedicate to get a virtual space functionally?
Here's the other thing.
working?
They're saying you can access this through your smartphone. So this can't be VR. It's clearly just, here's a thing, tap a thing to zoom in to this, image. It must be some kind of,
a Google Map type thing.
Yeah, pre-rendered thing that you're kind of zooming around or something. Because otherwise, or the website, but still, it's still amazing.
I want a little avatar to walk through the whole area.
Well, that's what apparently you can do. They'll have all these original characters drawn by,
Oda. That's going to take a lot of crunching to navigate individual avatars linked to smartphones, PCs, tablets, freaking everything.
Understand? They say you will be able to, not you will be able to see other people. So I suspect, they will pre-render, 100 other avatars in there that are just kind of standing there.
Not moving, not consuming data. Oh my God. There you go.
You can wander
I love the fact that they have Jump Tower. Do they also have Jump Plaza?
I was going to say, yeah. As I was reading that, I thought, this sounds weird. It's just...
it comes off a little weird.
Yeah. It's like you can't just say, XYZ trumps everyone else on the market. Just trump that word. Sounds different now.
It's just there.
But it's a really neat idea, I think, and good on a company like Shueisha, for lack of a better word, not cheaping out and providing something really remarkable for their event.
Which definitely will draw a lot of attention.
Yeah. Yep.
So, money. Yay!
Yeah. And for something that, again, that in and of itself can't turn a profit, right? Everything else can turn a profit, but they are clearly just pouring money into that, hoping it pulls more folks in. So,
you've got the Fest shop in there. You know what I mean? It's like you're gonna. It's actually gonna provide some really interesting data in and of itself. It's like just what are the people going to? What are they gravitating to? What are they reading? In this Zabrak library, what's popular in there? What needs a re-release? If they put an older set of volumes in there, are people really gravitating to that? Let's do a re-release of that. You know what I mean? It's like it provides a lot of market information as well. So.
Absolutely, yeah.
I'll be there. Mm-hmm. I'll have my avatar of the big white gaijin walking around.
The Baka Gaijin. Hey, it's Baka Gaijin. How you doing?
There we are. Let's see here. Also this week, a few news stories that we wanted to mention. Might not discuss in much detail, though we might. We'll see. Toei Animation announced this week that its upcoming Precure TV anime series, that's the Magical Girl franchise that's been going on since practically forever, will be titled Tropical Rouge Precure. It's set to premiere in spring of 2021, and it will be the 18th Precure series. The tagline is Transform with Makeup, Invincible Determination. It'll replace the currently airing Healin' Good Precure, which premiered on February 2nd. This week, Hobby Japan revealed that a TV anime adaptation is in the works for Yuri Kitayama and Riv's Seirei Gensoku Spirit Chronicles light novel series. Osamu Yamasaki is directing it at TMS Entertainment in collaboration with WoW World. The novels tell the story of Rio, an orphan boy living in the slums, who suddenly realizes, at 7 years old, that he's actually the reincarnation of, what else, a Japanese college student, and that he, of course, possesses remarkable magical powers. He uses new powers to solve a kidnapping, and as a reward, finds himself enrolled in a prestigious academy. The novel began serialization online in 2014, and there's a manga that started in 2017 as well. The official website of the Wata 10 and Angel Flew Down to Me anime series announced the franchise getting a new anime project. Further details at a later date. The original anime premiered in January of 2019 and was based on the Watashi ni Tenchi nga Mayoirita, 4-panel manga, telling the story of Sky College otaku Miyako, who meets her 5th grade sister's classmate and friend and falls for her at first sight. Okay, I'm switching over because clearly there's more to be said here.
It's cute little cute girls and a college age girl who has a thing for cute little girls and wants to dress them up and take pictures of them and hug them and it's kind of cringy.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
It's the way that they portray the girls. At least it's sort of they're like a little more aware that this college age lady is weird, but they, you know what I mean. So it's not as super cringy as it could be. Like if they didn't understand what this woman is like, got this odd fetish. They kind of understand it and they play along with it just because it's like, yeah, she's just weird.
I remember
so
this
it's
now.
like
Yeah.
I watched. Yeah, it's it's.
Yeah, I saw episode 1. And I was
don't-
like, uncomfortable.
Yeah, I made it to episode 2. And I was
Okay.
like, yeah, I'll just put that on the back burner. Maybe somebody will say something that'll be like, oh, I better re-kickstart this engine. Nope.
Fair enough. Yeah. The Japan Foundation will hold an online film festival in certain countries from December 4th through 13th. The JFF Plus online film festival will take place on the Japanese Film Festival's website, NATCH, where the featured anime films will stream for free for 24 hours. The films will feature in order are Gone the Little Fox, Tokyo Marble Chocolate, Drawer Hobbs, Sumiko Gurashi, Good to Be in the Quarter, Little Spider Girl, Norman the Snowman Northern Light, and On a Night of Shooting Stars, Kick Heart, Pigtails, The Girl from the Other Side, and Moon of a Sleepless Night. The festival will stream 1 or 2 movies a day throughout the December dates, and will be available in the US, Australia, Cambodia, India, Indonesia, New Zealand, and South Korea. The festival will also take place in Canada, Mexico, and Brazil in February of next year, and other countries in January and March. Good old regional, schedule stuff. The link to the ANN article is in the video description as usual if you'd like to check the festival out. Mangaka Sui Ishida, creator of the horror phenomenon Tokyo Ghoul, announced his next manga this week. He revealed that he's finished the storyboard for the new Superhuman X, and also revealed a black and white teaser image that definitely seems to fit the vibe of his previous works. Tokyo Ghoul ran in Weekly Young Jump from 2011 to 2014, and Tokyo Ghoul Re from 2014 to 2018. In news which probably shouldn't shock anyone at this point, the Demon Slayer Mugen Train film continues to break records and dominate the movie market. As of this week, it surpassed Your Name and Frozen to become the 3rd highest earning film of all time in Japan. Only 2 left for to chase, Titanic at number 2 and Spirited Away at number 1. After the week's numbers are finalized, it's also expected to be the top grossing animated film worldwide in 2020 and the number 5 film overall. Your Name director Makoto Shinkai commented on the news on Twitter saying, "What? Already? LOL. Though I feel frustrated, it's the nature of a healthy entertainment industry that the records are constantly being beaten right. I will do my best every day so I can at least make good films." End quote. Trust me, Shinkai, you make good films. Though it hasn't achieved Demon Slayer levels of success, the Violet Evergarden film has been doing very respectably in theaters as well. As of this week, it has stayed in Japan's top 10 films for its entire 10-week run so far. It also surpassed the K-On! Movie to become KyoAni's second highest grossing anime film of all time, just behind A Silent Voice. Which, I'll be honest, that's a great ranking there. It opened in Japan on September 18th and ranked number 2 in its opening weekend. Lastly, this week brings the announcement of 2 deaths in the industry. Manga creator Takao Yaguchi passed away this week at age 81 due to pancreatic cancer. He's probably best known for his Tsurukichi Sanpei fishing manga, which ran in Weekly Shonen magazine from 73 to 83, with a total of 65 compiled book volumes. It inspired a TV anime series from 80 to 82 and a live-action film in 2009. He received the Regional Person of Cultural Merit Award in 2009 as well. His most recent manga was Versus Yoshin-san, a spin-off, which just ended on July 7th. The Yokote Masuda Manga Museum, a museum in Yokote City dedicated to Yaguchi's works, announced it will hold a gathering to remember Yaguchi at a later date. Finally, Toei announced on Friday that Toei Group Chairman Yusuke Okada also passed away this week at age 71. Okada, son of longtime Toei President Shigeru Okada, joined Toei in 1988, became a board member in 1992, managing director in 2000, then president and CEO back in 2002. In 2014, he moved into the position of representative director and group chairman, and also served as managing director for Toei Animation. He was a producer and actor before joining Toei. He also previously served as the chairman for the Motion Picture Producers Association of Japan, and was the honorary chairman of the Japan Academy earlier this year. Rest in peace. So, always a downer to end on news like that, but I think worth mentioning the passing of notable individuals in the industry.
Well, they had a life, so that's good.
They sure did. Absolutely. And yeah, I gotta say, Silent Voice, Violet Evergarden, K-On! The movie. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That sounds right. Good to see Violet Evergarden staying strong in theaters.
Yeah.
But my gosh, okay, again, we say it every week. The Demon Slayer movie is the number 5 highest grossing film of the year. Jeez.
And meanwhile, the investors and producers of that movie are just quite...
Yeah.
Well, and the thing that's funny is, if you, any word of mouth kind of thing, it's this is a theatrical release film. It's coming out. Here it is. It's posters. It's, advertising. And then those people are going back and telling other people, so that beyond the scope of the advertising campaign, now it's just picking up momentum by the moment. You know what I mean? So it's just wow, your marketing investment in just telling people about the film has just been so well done, because now everybody just talks about it. You don't have to do anything else.
Yep. No, it's true. I mean, I literally know nothing about this anime or series and stuff, and I'm going,
I want to see the film.
I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch it. It's going to happen.
Yep. And I want to dig into it just to find out. Wow. Wesley is saying there is a Demon Slayer store in Trinidad.
Oh, Trinidad.
Wow.
Dang.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
I wanted to get it just to find out, what's the plot situation on Demon Slayer? Obviously this is not the last Demon Slayer we're ever going to see now. What are the potential for how they can expand on this? Because it's not like Dragon Ball where, okay, you can tell stories about this character and that character, and these villains can come in and you can do all sorts of stuff. It's pretty focused on the brother and sister. So I'm just kind of wondering what's going on with this storyline and how far they can go. Because, they ain't going to let this one pass.
No. No, we're going to see 5 more at least in the next 18 months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hopefully.
If you
they're
like
not
the
gonna
Logan
do,
movie,
like,
here you like this.
yeah, so they're not
Oh my
hopefully gonna
God.
do like the Indiana Jones thing, where it's like it builds, and then it just explodes under its own weight. I'm like, dang it.
Yeah,
It's Crystal Skull moment.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
interesting. I mean, yeah,
Jump the shark, if you will.
Yep.
it's tough because I think I'm not aware of another shonen title that's done this, where it was a respectable success, very successful in the West. I'm not sure how successful it was in Japan. I get a sense that it was did well.
Right.
And then the movie comes out and it's the biggest thing in the world, almost literally, and that's suddenly now it's not like again Dragon Ball where it builds and builds and builds over years and years. Or like Yu Yu Hakusho, which is big push over the course of 5 years, 7 years or so. This is going to explode in ways that shonen generally doesn't, and so hopefully they can manage that well. Who knows?
Hopefully, the people at the helm of this ship they're pleasantly surprised, but I really do pray that they are aware and prepared.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like, because if you have people who can't manage this, then they are going to blow the dough, and they're going to anything that comes after is just going to be a ridiculous cash grab.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
a lot of hope and a lot of trust that there's some level heads behind this
Yeah.
that are planning that next step,
Well,
so that the sequel will be the number 2 film ever.
and
Right.
here's,
I mean, like-
here's the other thing I just discovered. That is a 23-volume manga series, which ended in May of this year. Manga's done. So there's a lot of material there, potentially, to adapt. But, there's, Wesley's saying in the chat, the manga was like, no, this has beginning, middle, end. Like, it So that's going to be interesting. Now, again, people said that about Naruto, where, Naruto's over, so that's no. We can find a solution to this problem. But I wonder where they're going to go with it. It's very interesting.
It will be the next One Piece.
Yeah.
And
900 episodes later.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, that's the other interesting thing, is I feel like Demon Slayer is the kind of thing where you almost can't do that, where if you have an original that's a beginning, middle, and end, you might see something different where you get, every, if you get a new series, it's going to have beginning, middle, end.
Right.
And you get that season, kind of like what Index and Railgun do, where every season gives you, some, build up to conclusion. Who knows?
Well, they'll just find like a side arc or insert in there somewhere that somebody got hit in the head, and this entire new season portion is like a coma fantasy.
There we go.
They're like, we descend into soap opera land.
Oh, it's a snow globe.
Yeah, exactly.
I have amnesia for the 5th time.
Pink pages are coma fantasies, and yellow pages are about amnesia fantasies. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't read the script right. Here we go.
It's a
That's
lot
why
of
I'm saying
fun.
level heads. Level heads. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to dive into like the wiki for As the World Turns.
Oh my god.
And like the number of times a character has had amnesia over the decades and all those sorts of things.
When I was with the Baltimore Opera,
oh,
I worked with a guy who was on the show.
Oh,
Jimmy
cool. Okay.
Andakis.
Mm-hmm.
And no lie, he said you should see the scripts that don't make it.
Oh wow! Yeah. Oh.
don't make it. Wow.
That don't make it. The plot lines that don't make it.
Mhm.
His character, he played a character that lasted like I think 2 to 3 seasons, and up until a certain point, because I don't think it's on anymore, right?
I think they're all gone pretty much.
Yeah, I think they're all
folded up.
Well, every Christmas when they would play the Christmas episode and they would go back the flashback over the years of all the different characters, he would get a $1,200 royalty check because his character came on for no more than 5 seconds, and that he would get a royalty check in the mail every Christmas, like after January 1st. Here's your money. Here's your $1,200.
Nice.
Wow.
And but he oh my God, he would tell me stories of just like how people just kind of read the scripts and they just go, just pull the trigger. This is my career.
And page 10 the trigger.
This is my career. My God.
And to be clear, writing 5 hours of content a week, is impossible.
That's not easy.
Like,
it's not easy.
It's absurd because it has to be absurd. There's just no other way of telling those stories.
Can you imagine the amount of cocaine?
I did. Gosh, it's.
So we're gonna write about a doll that talks. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah. Go.
Oh,
everybody's a ghost, and they're all hooked on crack. What?
So, some years ago, I worked at a job where we had they gave us a gym membership, nearby. So I go to the gym middle of the day, and the way I worked in my particular job, it was easier for me to go mid-afternoon. So I would just tell everyone I'm going to the gym, go mid-afternoon, which meant what was playing on all of the screens.
Yep.
Soap operas. So I got to see some of these storylines, and there was one, I forget which one, I kid you not. It was a guy who had this weird computer that he was typing into and chatting on, and this is maybe 10 years ago, chatting on, and then it would cut to this teenage girl in like 1980 on the same computer because they had a computer that could communicate through time. On like The Guiding Light or something, like one of the standard soap operas, there was this sort of time travel communication thing between two characters I don't know why, but that was the plot line that they were doing with this character. And what's even weirder is you think, they had to like build a bedroom set that looks like the 1980s, and for this one plot line, like there's a certain amount of investment, and it's this weird computer. It's obviously this computer, this girl's father built for her in 1980, and it's all very custom. This very custom, weird built thing, and it's not even a computer. It's obviously like some guys drag some things over and hook up a typewriter to something else. But it's just like, who thought this was a good idea? Like where did what was the history of this plot line getting incorporated into General Hospital? I just don't understand. And you think
was
back in the
80s, General Hospital, as you just mentioned, they did a plot line that my mother and my sister were totally hooked on, and it was a bunch of like the character people, and somebody had built a weather control device.
Oh God!
And was like, it literally was like a G.I. Joe plot.
Yeah. I remember this
weather control device, and they were trying to freeze the like port city wherever General Hospital was.
Port City,
by changing the weather to all freezing all the time.
What was
so they had to investigate.
What was the name of the evil family that built the thing?
I don't remember. God. I know there was Luke and Laura.
Were
the main characters. Mm-hmm. Scorpio was like their sort of bad boy buddy.
Okay.
That was investigating what the Weather Dominator was doing.
Okay. I have to applaud you for remembering the name of the device from the G.I. Joe serial.
Yeah.
The Weather Dominator.
It was the Cassadine family.
Okay.
Cassadines, yes.
All right.
Oh, yeah. It was Port Charles.
And Laura from Luke and Laura. Laura is married to Jonathan Frakes.
Oh.
Really?
Who is, from the Star Trek Next Gen.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, found that out like when I was watching Next Gen, and I'm like, oh, Jonathan Frakes, he's so cool, and he's married to who?
Yeah.
Wow.
But now
Hollywood, you're just crazy.
Now Oshi's storyboards for the egg doesn't seem so abstract anymore, does
Oh,
it?
yeah.
Yeah, everything fits together. Speaking of which, announcement this week, which didn't make it into the news. There was an announcement this week of Mamoru Oshii's next anime series, which is a spastic comedy.
That's the comedy.
Yeah, it is just it is basically panty and stocking, just with not like that style, but very much goofy, ridiculous comedy.
It is,
People,
yeah.
crazy reactions is the entire trailer, and folks are freaking out, which is hilarious because again, he did Urusayatara, right? Like that was his start, so.
It's gonna be Pop Team Epic all over again.
Pretty much, Well, that's the other funny thing is that what's great is I think Oshii's the kind of person who will totally troll his audience by just inserting like a really long, pointless scene halfway through. It has lots of weird symbolism in it. It leads absolutely nowhere. It has a Bassettown in it, like just for fun. Yeah. Now and then, here and there, you made me sad, Manoff. Just referencing that anime. Now and then, here and there. Well, the nice thing about Oshii is marathoning his work is not too hard. It's Ghost in the Shell, Patlabor, Urusayatara, which he didn't. I don't think he even directed all of Urusayatara. Just chunks of the.
But Urusai is just 995
That's the
episodes
thing, yeah.
alone.
So I think you can take a chunk of that. But and then of course there's live action stuff, of which there's like half a dozen films or so. So not too huge of a filmography there, which is nice.
195.
195, yeah.
195, not 99. No, 995 would be One Piece.
That's exactly, yeah.
Or one, something close to that.
Mm-hmm. Actually, let's find out. Where are they now?
Oh.
I'm betting.
Good Lord.
They are at 952.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. So
That's easy enough. Jeez, I thought
Right.
it was 1,000. Gosh.
no.
It would have been too intimidating.
It's an afternoon, basically.
Yeah.
Through all of One Piece. Whatever.
An afternoon
Can you
for the
imagine
rest
that
of
one
your
person?
life.
Can you imagine that one person who's going to go, hey, I'm kind of interested in this One Piece thing. I think I'll start the anime. I think I'll just start it.
It'll start. Yeah. How long could it be?
Yeah, I should be able to finish it this weekend.
Yeah.
It's 42 episodes, right?
Sure. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Imagine trying to collect One Piece now on DVD.
Oh.
Let me just see.
That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah,
Funimation's got it.
Really dedicated.
Oh, Detective Conan's got 907?
There we
Really?
go. That's another one. Yeah.
Jeez.
Because they just crank those out because it's completely episodic and
Yeah.
it's like
I remember when
it's Murder, She
when
Wrote.
it first came on, first came on over here. I was just like, oh, okay, this is an interesting little thing, and you watch through it, and I'm just like, after one season, I'm like, okay, that's good enough. Now it's at
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. No, when I was in Japan, they had a Detective Conan travel thing where I would go by travel agencies and they would have a Detective Conan themed trips. So you go to see the various places people had been murdered in Detective Conan. I mean,
Wow.
not specifically for that, but it's like, this shows up in Detective Conan. You should go here. This was featured in Detective Conan. You should go here. Because, again, why not? I'm just wondering, there are 400 episodes of NCIS. So to give you an idea, 18 seasons.
Wow.
Yeah.
Of a series I don't pay any attention to at all ever.
Yeah.
Cool.
Imagine CSI,
Yikes.
Oof.
How about American Bandstand? Oh, I'm sorry. That's
Oh, well, sure, yeah.
that's been off the air for 20 years. I'm so sorry.
I wonder, actually.
Clark's not
Bandstand.
dead.
He lives forever
Oh!
in the digital memory.
About 3,000.
Of American Bandstand?
Yeah.
Holy crap!
God. Well, it has been going on.
Wow!
Well,
37 seasons
gee,
Wow!
from 1952 to
Right, it was
1989. So,
Go Dick Clark. Wow!
Yeah. And granted, it was originally Bob Horn, and then Tony Memorella, and then Dick Clark forever, and then David Hirsch did a few episodes in the final season. Wow. That's nuts. Oh, well, what's the other thing? Game shows. Game shows the other crazy one. So, let's check Price is Right.
Ugh, Price is Right. Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah. Format history. Wow. They're not even listing it on the Wikipedia page.
Wow.
they lost count.
Totally. I mean, they may have. This is about the Price is Right franchise. Apologies, not the actual game show. There are approximately 9,000 episodes of the Price is Right.
Cow.
Over 49 seasons.
Oh, game put in there 630 for The Simpsons. Jeopardy
Yeah.
9,200.
Oh God.
I'm gonna binge watch all Jeopardy that there ever was.
Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
see you in like 10 years.
Yeah, right. Totally. Doctor Who's 861.
Wow.
So
Still pretty good.
that's serious. Although 97 of those are missing. So
Yeah.
sad.
All the original series, like
Not-
the first Doctor.
Not all the original. but most
William
of it.
Hartnell?
Yeah, most of the Hartnell stuff is gone, and then a few of the other stuff from the
Yeah.
first three.
What was that? Was that a fire or is it just lost?
It was BBC would they didn't keep
Re-record.
tapes.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, they just
yeah.
for everything, not just Doctor Who.
Yeah.
They just didn't keep anything.
That's
So
right.
They just re-record over.
God.
Yeah. Which, granted, again, same thing happened to Astro Boy, right? Like,
Yeah.
so we lose a lot of that stuff because who's ever going to rewatch this dumb show?
But 40 years in the future.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Well,
Yeah.
it's one of those things. The niceties of the time. Think of Napoleon when he came to power and how Paris looked. He just knocked down things to make
Yeah.
these nice wide avenues that people couldn't barricade.
yeah.
How many buildings in there were just like stripped away? 'Cause, yeah, who cares? They're 200-300 years old by that point. I don't
Yeah.
care. I need
Yeah.
an avenue. We're gonna put that right there. You know? People's appreciation of things of history are dependent on their time period.
Yep, absolutely. It's a good point, Game Escape. 880 episodes of Saturday Night Live, which, considering that's a weekly show that's not a game show,
Yeah.
that's pretty impressive. They had to write all
Yeah.
of that.
Yep.
Doraemon
I
is
just wish they had
1800.
written a lot of that better.
Yeah.
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 So then the question
Yeah.
is, so what is-
Doraemon's 1800.
Yeah.
Ooh, Saizei-san.
I was just going to ask. So Saizei-san is technically 2,500 plus episodes, but there are over 7,500 segments because each episode is like 4 segments, I think. 4 little mini cartoons, basically.
Right.
So yeah, so they have a lot of Saizei-san.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they ever did, like Tiny Toons would do 3 segments.
Right.
So you'd have like, a segment with sort of like Animaniacs too. They have like 3
Yeah.
bits pieces that
Yep.
you would see them take
Right.
of those 3, take out 1, put in something new in the
Oh,
middle, and
yeah.
put 2 olds on either end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's-
that's a new episode, even though it's only 1/3 of the animation is new.
And that's how they do Saizai-san now, is that every episode on TV is just some combination of segments.
Right,
From the
okay.
history. Yeah. And they're, as far as I know, they're still making more.
Probably, because that's just
um,
crazy.
Because that was a thing. Let me just double check. Oh yeah, it was put on hiatus for COVID, but resumed. So they're still making more segments of that thing from 1946
Yeah.
when that manga started. and the anime started in '69. That's, whew.
Yeah.
That's a record right there.
Yeah.
Dang.
Good mother.
Cool. There's no history this week, sadly. Nothing happened. Yeah.
Nothing happened.
Yeah. But yeah, late November is always a weird time for anime because like, it's in the middle of winter and other stuff's going on, and it's just,
We need to eat and sleep at some point.
yeah. Unless you have a birthday.
Yeah, that's for the week. There's more anime, no sleep, no eating.
I think December you start getting a couple of like movie premieres and such, although I don't recall any of note. But that's how that tends to cycle. Wow, 4,800 Young and the Restless episodes. That's nuts.
Wow.
That's odd. I have a question.
What did we learn on the show tonight, Brent?
The show tonight, Brent. That was beautiful.
My opera career is a lock.
Oh yeah,
right there.
Definitely. We're all going there. I learned Shueisha has a lot of money, and is spending it on a virtual event, literally a virtual event. The more I think about it, the more I'm worried it's going to be a gimmick, and that it's just going to be some silly thing in their app, and everyone's going to complain about it. But I'm glad that they're trying anyway. I think this is the kind of thing you should experiment with. Why not? I also learned that the Mugen train just keeps on chugging.
Yeah.
And I also learned that the anime industry grew in 2019, which was good, considering all the gloom and doom. I'm glad to see that. I'm looking forward to seeing that preliminary report. What about you guys?
I learned the Haruhi train. I'm getting back on when it comes to town. That obviously, when you get Good Smile Company opening a U.S. website just for U.S. and Canada, that means market penetration is getting an actual place. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, yeah. Hopefully this continuing trend will keep seeing market growth, and that we won't ever face a weird moment in time where it's like, well, sorry, there's no more anime. Good night. So, I've learned that.
I've learned that when you're having a hard week, watching an awesomely animated parody of anime will put you in a better mood. I've also learned that I wish that I had known about the Mugen Train so that I could have invested a little money I had into that, because I would be incredibly rich. I learned tonight that I'm going to need Yakuza connections for pachinko parlors here in Baltimore.
There you
go.
I've learned that. What else did I learn tonight? I learned tonight that daytime soaps are over, but they will never be forgotten.
Yeah.
And yes, I did see Luke and Laura's wedding.
Oh, of course. Yes, there we go.
Of course, because
So did I.
Yeah. So here's my walker. So what else did I learn tonight? I learned that I am ridiculously optimistically happy about Rama Rawls manga about food, being gluttonous and eating food with actual recipes in the nightclub that got about 3 episodes worth of attention in the
Unicorn
in the Origins story.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Origins.
And I have learned, not so much as learned, but also come to grips with the fact that yes, I am rewatching Mobile Suit Gundam. I mentioned that earlier, and I am learning that Amuro Ray is the more realistic idiot savant pilot who actually had to read a manual as opposed to Shugo in Megazone, who just goes, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So those are among the many things.
There we
I
go.
learned.
Did you know, speaking of, that Tomino originally wanted Amuro Ray to be a test pilot for the Gundam?
Oh.
Yeah, one of his criticisms is that it's ridiculous that random boy can always pilot the mecha. So he should be like a
test
candidate
pilot.
for that, a test pilot, but just everything goes wrong, and he now is the only one who can pilot it. And everyone's like, no, that's silly. Oh well.
We need a
We've
hero
been doing
that
the young boy
children
with the
can
magic
emulate.
box.
Exactly, yeah.
Exactly.
There's nothing wrong with child soldiers. Nothing wrong at all.
Yeah. If it was good enough for a Gigantor, for a kid to operate with a joystick and a couple buttons, then you could have any idiot child jump into a giant death machine. It's easy. It sells itself.
Totally fine. And as we can see from Gundam, it did turn out fine. Amuro was a very well-adjusted person.
Yeah.
Had no problems in Zeta Gundam adjusting to society, which is great.
Shinji's dad. Yeah.
So for those of you who have seen Original Gundam or are interested in Original Gundam, one of the things I love about Original Gundam, one of the things I love is that you get to see his progression and all the kind of stuff he goes through. And then he shows up back again in Zeta Gundam, like a couple episodes in. And this is 7 years after the Original Gundam, and you see what he's like as an adult. And you see how those experiences affected him. And it is so well presented.
Wow.
Where you get to see those, payoff, right, of all that stuff. Like, yeah, that makes sense. Cool. Thank you all so much for being here. Appreciate it as always. This has been a lot of fun. Next week, we will be discussing Royal Space Force, The Wings of Horiamise.
I've never seen it, and I'm so
awesome.
to it.
Okay, yeah.
Gosh,
This is Gainax's first film, and was kind of their shot across the bow of the anime industry in a way to say, this is what an anime film should be. It should be, it should have, this is the animation quality we expect. This is kind of the depth we expect of complexity and storytelling and so forth. It's a really interesting film. And we'll be talking about it in 7 days, if all goes well.
Nice.
Yay! So thank you all so much for being here. This has been great, and we will see you all next week. Take care, all. Have a good one.
Night.
Until next time, watch more anime.